news. It was actually 25 years ago this month that a land deal was made to preserve a scenic hillside next to Jacksonville Cemetery. And the person who spearheaded that deal might surprise you.
Okay, Old Catholic Wagon and Quarry trails. These trails and the surrounding 10 acres of woodlands are dedicated in honor of
Brian Mulholland. Back in 1994, Jacksonville Elementary School 6th grader Brian Mulholland negotiated the land deal that purchased this scenic hillside from the city of Medford.
Did you hear that?
6th grader Brian Mulholland.
Brian Mulholland was just 11 years old when he walked into the Medford city manager's office to make a deal.
What helped me is at that time I was 6'6", what I am now, just a little skinnier. So yes, they saw me as a 5th and 6th grade student. However, they saw how important this was to preserve the land and make the trails what they are today.
Look at what they are today. This beautiful hillside next to the Jacksonville Cemetery could easily be filled with houses, complexes, but a kid got in the way.
And you'll see in that picture how Andy Anderson is just smiling himself silly because two 10, 11-year-olds come in to negotiate a land deal.
That's Larry Smith. He was Mulholland's 6th grade teacher. To learn how an 11-year-old was able to secure a huge part of Jacksonville's landscape, ask the guy who was there when it was just a crazy thought in a kid's head. How did this all come about?
Well, it was one Saturday morning. It was kind of foggy, it was raining just a little bit, and he and I loved to go out for hikes. And we were walking along, and I'll never forget, Brian said, "Who owns this?" It just so happened I'd already looked it up on the tax records.
Yeah.
And I said, "The city of Medford owns it." And he looked at me and I'll never forget what he said. "How do we get it?" He comes in after school and he said, "I've got an appointment with Andy Anderson, the city of Medford."
So he got that appointment on his own?
Oh, totally. They had no idea an 11-year-old boy was coming in to negotiate this land deal.
25 years later.
He said, "My mother's sitting out in the car."
Smith still remembers the day perfectly. But does Mulholland?
Oh, very much. Mr. Anderson was very inviting, treated us not like kids. We were there to talk about a conservation land deal, you know, and we were really grateful for being treated that way.
When I talked to Larry, he kind of said this was all you. He just kind of facilitated. Do you agree with that, or do you think he had some?
Larry, he gave me ideas. I would come up with, "Well, what do you think about this, Mr. Smith?" And he would, "Well, you could go talk to this person or that."
I'd known Brian since 4th grade, so I knew he could pull this off. I didn't give it a whole lot of thought. I just let him do it.
Shortly after that meeting, Anderson presented the idea to City Council, and they thought,
"Well, why not just look up the price of when this was, what would we buy for? How much it was $1,040. So, okay, just sell it for that price."
But what was it actually worth?
About $500,000.
About $500,000.
Yeah, because we got 10 acres.
Quite a steal.
Yes.
so what does it all mean? Well, it means this land can't be touched.
Are you proud of that?
I'm extremely proud. If we didn't have this, Jacksonville would not have been the same place.
And that land secured by 11-year-old Brian Mulholland is technically still owned by the city, but it is maintained by the Jacksonville Woodlands Association, which Larry Smith just so happens to run.
And I've been on that trail many times, and I'm not going to take credit for the story,
I was
but
actually
I did
just
tell
about
you about it.
I was about to say, credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
Jack is the one who told me about this story, and I was like, that's incredible. We have to do a story about it.
It is.
And there's the story.
And